Nice. Usually I have Right. Welcome back. I haven't done a podcast in probably, 6 weeks or so. Been a few busy weeks for me. Type of triathlon season has been upon us, and so I fixing bikes and
Race directing as well.
It's directing me for the most part. So yeah, but it's all fun. It's all good. Um, Jason Sabio, welcome to the Sunset Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being so adventurous to join me because you don't even know what you're getting into. Have you even listened to any of the podcasting that I've done?
I've never even done a podcast, and I don't really listen to podcasts. So this will be kind of my first rodeo in both regards.
So why don't you listen to podcasts? Are you a music guy? Is that what you
I think I have too much ADHD to listen.
Okay.
And so typically when I do listen to music, it's when I'm training and I need something that will drown out my mental fatigue, and that's music.
Gotcha.
I feel like if I listen to a podcast, I would just be thinking, man, everything hurts. When can I stop?
Oh, that's it. Because I like when I'm working out, I'll put on usually some kind of entertainment where it gets me thinking, or it gets me like sometimes those murder podcasts. Catch the guy, and that I don't know. I fall into that thought, and that drowns me out. Like I don't think about anything. Music for some reason makes me like, especially I'll work out to the beat or the tempo of the music. I'm not really planning for a high intensity day, and then like music on that's a hard beat, fast beat. Then I'm all of a sudden I'm like, why am I working so hard? Oh, it's
Yeah, I guess most of my workouts are in the morning, and I need something to wake me up. But I do digress a little bit. When I'm with my wife, and we're on like long road trips, we do listen to podcasts. But she loves those like murder podcasts.
Women love the murder podcast. What's up with that?
I don't know, and I have again too much ADHD, so she'll be listening to it, and I'll be googling on my phone what happened. So I'll know what's going on.
You get ahead.
Yeah, I'm the same way with movies and TV shows. We'll be sitting watching a TV show or some sort of documentary.
Uh-oh. Technical.
We're good.
Yeah. I'm gonna put that over on this side. Happen. Still recording. So, yeesh. That's what I get for this 2-bit podcast right here. I've got no producer.
It was late notice.
Yeah.
You know, it's on the fly. So, but yeah, I don't know. Music is definitely drives me. I mean, there's plenty of research out there that shows that it helps with mental fatigue. So, you know, I've got a pretty big race this weekend, and I haven't done any training sessions unplugged, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, let's reel it back a little bit because I know who you are and what you're capable of, but maybe the listening/viewing audience has no clue who infamous Jason Sabio is. So, Jason, introduce yourself for everyone out there. You're a Huntsville native.
Transplant in 1995, but I would consider Huntsville home.
Okay.
We moved here because my parents, or specifically my dad, got a job after his training, and I know we were living in Long Island, New York at the time, and I was in 3rd grade, and this was in 1995. So, and one of my classmates, when I told them that I was going to Alabama to live, her response was, My grandfather told me down in Alabama, if you step on someone else's yard, they'll shoot you with a shotgun.
Oh,
So I didn't know what to expect.
that's not entirely untrue.
It's not untrue. I know there's some stand your ground laws, but I think we've evolved since in the past 30 years.
So what did your dad do or still does?
My dad's a physician. He's infectious disease trained, so he's an internal medicine physician, just like myself. And so he came down here for essentially a J1 visa waiver. So if you're a foreign medical grad and you graduate outside of the country but do your residency here in the US, you have two options. You either go back to your home country for 3 years or you do a waiver for 2 years. I could have that reversed, but it's essentially the same, and that allows you to stay in this country. So Huntsville at the time was actually an underserved area,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was able to come here and work to meet his requirements of his waiver.
Oh, that's cool. So then, where is your dad from?
So my dad's from the Philippines. I was
Okay.
actually born in the Philippines as well, in the great age or the great year of 1986. So that makes me 39 years old, and still hazy. I really have terrible memory. I don't know if we moved in December of 1988 or in December of 1989, but I think it was the latter.
So do you have dual citizenship?
So I had dual citizenship, or I was a dual passport holder. That's another kind of wrinkle in itself. But um, I was a Filipino passport holder, then a green card holder, and I was a green card holder until I think 2000. And
Hmm.
because I was still 18, under 18, and my parents were able to claim citizenship, I became a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
And then later on, when I played soccer, played football for the Philippine national team, I was able to get a my Filipino passport back. But I learned during that time that you can't be a citizen of both countries. You actually can only be a citizen of one, but you can hold passports in both countries.
Hmm. Okay. I don't like to get political, but what's going on in the U.S. and immigration is all over the place, and I have no, I'm probably privileged in the sense that I was born here, right? So, and I have very little understanding of immigration laws. Barely am a passport holder. Been out of the country like twice in my life. So, without getting too deep into the politics of it all, how are how are things from a uh, immigration standpoint? They have it wrong. Do they need to adjust laws? Do you think there's a better way?
Well,
And I'm trying to ask a very softball question because I don't want to get into
uh,
all the politics of it all.
I
But
mean that's definitely an onion of a conversation. You know, in regards to immigration and then coming into the country, right? There's typically you have to have a visa if you're
mm,
from a different country. Now, are you coming in with a tourist visa, meaning that you have a finite period of days that you can be here? Are you on a work visa, such as like an H1 or a J1? Um, I saw something today where the current administration is now proposing that there's um, fees for H-1B visa holders. So people who are coming from other countries and working here under that type of visa, I don't know the intricacies of it, they may have an associated fee. Some of my colleagues are on J1 visas, which
mm,
allows them to, just like my father, allows them to do their postgraduate training here. But there's certain stipulations that they have to meet. Like I said, either go back to their home country or find a waiver here. And some of my PGY1s or the what we call the baby doctors coming out of school. Some of them were stopped from coming into the country because they couldn't get the appropriate visas. Um, so
seems like we attract, especially tech world, medical industry, and there's others, but a lot of foreign students, people come study here in the states. Seems like that true for your dad.
I mean, I think the quote unquote dream for a lot of Asians during my parents' age. My dad was born in 1958. My mom was in 59. Was to live the American dream, to come out of quote unquote poverty in a third world country is a little archaic, but we call it developing country like the Philippines, even though there's a lot of Western influence. Um, that they want to come here and earn much more to provide for their families. I mean, to give you perspective, I mean, this may have been like 10 years ago when I was still living in the Philippines, but a physician there out of training was making about 1100 a month.
Mm.
And I mean, medical school, intern year, everything. So they're a full-fledged physician and they're making $1100 a month. I think minimum wage there right now is only $10-15 a day.
Yeah.
I mean, and so and when I lived in the Philippines, I mean, my rent was $2,000 a month. So I was living in a very westernized part of the capital, but a stone's throw, people are only earning $15 a day, whether that's a traffic cop or they're an attendant at a convenience store.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there was a huge discrepancy between people, in certain industries, and then the what we call blue collar worker, so to speak, of the Philippines. So their goals and dreams was to come to the U.S. and establish themselves there and make a better living, not only for themselves but for their children and the generations to come.
Well, that's, man,
A lot to unpack.
it is, right? And I think you said it best. There's, especially with immigration, a lot of layers to that. I want to say, from perspective of knowing you, man, you're a smart dude. Like,
debatable.
well, I don't know. So you're a doctor. You finished medical school.
So I finished medical school in May of 2024.
And you're in your residency,
right? So I'm a PGY2 in internal medicine residency.
Okay, so hold on. Let's rewind. What were you before that?
So before that, I was a nomad through Asia.
Okay, sure.
And before that, I graduated law school from the University of Alabama, took the bar, passed the bar, and was working, random jobs in Tennessee, and then law wasn't for me, and maybe we should start end of college, 2008, because I think that would paint a better picture of what has happened in the last 17 years.
Well, and you're much like an onion. A lot to unpack with you,
yes.
My friend, because there's like...
Maybe I'm Peter Pan. Maybe I'm like Peter Pan incarnate, and I just didn't know what I want to do. And maybe at some point in the next month, I'm like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be the next Johnny Kim. I don't know.
I mean, why not? I mean, you probably could.
So on my 34th birthday, I remember my mother sending me just like an article of Dr. Johnny Kim. So Dr. Johnny Kim, he's a first generation Asian immigrant, Korean. He became a Navy SEAL. After becoming a Navy SEAL, he went to Harvard for medical school, started practicing as a physician, and then after that decided to be an astronaut for NASA. And I think he was like the first Korean American to be in space after an X amount of time, or maybe the first, I don't know. But I remember when I was 34, so 5 years back, and that article came out of Dr. Johnny Kim, my mom was like, why can't you be like him?
Oh man, your mom putting it to you, and you're already a lawyer at this point.
My mom's she's like your epitome of Asian tiger mom. I mean, gotcha. she's cool, calm, and collected, but all she cares about is she wants the best for her children. She's probably the most caring person in the world.
All right, doctor, lawyer, but you also played basically professional soccer too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like,
how do you like? At what point did you like? Oh, I'm really good at soccer, and were you good always an athlete, or was soccer your go-to sport, or how did you get involved in that?
So when we moved to the U.S. And we were living in New York, it's kind of when I got into sports. I could only do two sports. I could do karate and I could do swimming.
So this was by edict of your mom, right?
This is my father.
Oh, your father. Okay.
I think it was convenience for them because one was in fellowship and one was in residency. So they needed things that there was other people that could help watching me, and whether it was like, or it had to be a sport that was early in the morning prior to when they had to be at the hospital, or it was something that could be done very late.
Is your mom a doctor too?
My mom is a pediatrician.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So both physicians. Both of them did their training outside of the U.S., but they both did their residency here. So yeah, I could only swim and do karate, and unfortunately, I was a good.
Don't tell me you're a black belt too.
I am a black belt, but I know it's cliche. It really is.
Love it.
I mean, should a 10-year-old have a black belt? Probably not. But that's when I got my black belt.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
And my wife makes fun of me all the time. It's like, you're lying. And I said, let's just go. Anytime we go to my parents' house, I'm like, just look at this, this mantle, and our black belts are there. My father and I's black belts are there.
Just think, when I know like a lot about you, you surprise me. So
there's a lot about me that I just keep in. But anyway, so
that's hilarious.
I was a good swimmer, so I qualified for like Junior Olympics when I was 8 in breaststroke. And my parents were like, "Oh, you're going to become a swimmer. Your dreams are going to swim in the Olympics, represent the Philippines." And then we moved to Alabama, and I got into organized sports. So I didn't start playing soccer until I was like 12 years old.
Okay.
And actually, no offense to my parents, but they hated the idea of me doing anything besides swimming. And so they weren't very supportive at the time. And they made up for it 100%. Like when I was playing for the national team, when I was playing in college, my dad would travel all over the world to watch me play. Awesome. He's been camped out in China for 36 hours. He went all the way to Mongolia to watch me play. He went to Thailand. He's been to Singapore. He's been to Nepal. He's been to the Middle East. Like, he's been everywhere. And my father has watched me play. And even if when I sat the bench, because there was definitely a time where I didn't play and I sat the bench because there was someone better than me, my father would come. But anyway, so back up. So I was 10 or 12 years old, starting getting the organized sports. My parents didn't like the idea, but then it turned to the conversation of well, this will help pay for school. And he's actually good at it. So, luckily I got a college scholarship, and then I started playing in college, and then I had an opportunity in 2008 to go play in Germany, because the MLS here at the time, it's a major sport, yeah, but there was no league minimum. So the contracts that were out there, if you weren't drafted, were $1,000 a month. You couldn't even in 2008, you couldn't live off $1,000 a month in Chicago,
right?
Columbus, Dallas, all these places. So I went to Germany, and I got a salary of $1,400 a month plus housing. It was better,
right?
But I wasn't very good. I didn't get to play much. So I came back to the U.S., didn't know what I wanted to do, and I had a job offer to be a high school teacher. So I was a high school teacher in Birmingham, as well as a soccer coach. But I was way too young. I was 22 years old.
Oh,
and now, I'm 39 and I look like I'm 28, 20. Who knows what I look like? Except when I grow my mustache and grow my beard. I've been on ICU for the past month, so I haven't taken care of myself. I probably count on one hand how many times I've showered this past month.
And I hope this isn't offensive, but Asians always have a youthful appearance.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'll get carded until I'm 65, I'm sure. But anyway, so I didn't know what I wanted to do, and this wasn't for me, and I wasn't sure medicine at the time. So one of the co-teachers was like, "Well, why don't you take the LSAT? You're very articulate. You like arguing." I guess that's what they say to anybody who wants to be a lawyer. So I took the LSAT, and I did well, and I actually got I got accepted to Michigan State.
Please tell me you studied for the LSAT.
I was told.
Come on.
I was told that the LSAT was more of logic. So I think I studied maybe a a couple weekends, and then I took it just to see where I was.
Okay.
And then so
You passed it on the first.
yeah, I mean, so it's not pass. You do a percentile.
Oh, okay.
And then so I couldn't get into the top schools with my score, but and one thing I learned throughout my law school and ranking matters.
Right.
So like just going to law school, if you have got an established practice, like let's say that you're going to work somewhere, or people in the industry where you're going to easily get a job afterwards, then it really doesn't matter where you go to school. But if you want to work at a larger firm, if you actually want to work in the private sector, it does matter. So the highest ranking school that you can get into, you should go. So I went to Michigan State, and because I didn't get into Alabama at the time, and so
in law schools for
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
So I went to Michigan State. Luckily, I did very well my first year. I had some job offers after that first year, and in the summers in between law school, we call that summer associate. So where they pay you for basically a week-long interview, or 6 week long interview, I think, something like that. My memory's terrible.
Well, all right. Let me pause you right there, because you say your memory's terrible. But there's with law school, every law student that I've known, lots of studying, lots of reading. How does that compare to medical school?
No offense to any of my my classmates in law school, but medical school was a lot harder.
Okay.
Yes.
But still, that's a lot of studying, a lot of reading, a lot of memorization. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if your memory's bad, how, like,
I think it's like a goldfish. So
Okay.
I'll remember it for a small period of time,
and then
so because my wife always asks me, like, how do you, like, what's your first memory? And I'm like, I honestly don't remember anything unless I see a picture of it. I won't remember anything past the age of 25.
So you kind of just, yeah. I tend to try to do this in my own life, but not memory dump, but in the capacity of a day, I can only take in so much information, and then I've got to start, like, okay, I don't need vital to what I need to do today, and I just dump things out. So sometimes somebody will have a conversation with me. I don't really remember all the words that we said. Here was the themes, but I don't remember all the details because they weren't important. This was the main thing out of the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
the event that was important, and that's what
it could be that.
that'd be a fun study to do.
I would, because I mean, when I was in law school, I mean, it's also different. So in medical school, you typically have a test like every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
In law school, you have one big test at the end of the semester,
Mm.
and there's a bell curve. So what that means is that's why most of them are like written, they're essays. It's really difficult to do multiple choice in law school, and the reason why is, I always say, if there's 100 people in your class and you took 100 multiple choice tests and you got 90 of them correct, that's an A- in most books. But a lot of law schools operate on bell curves. So if you got 90 correct, but you were the lowest scoring person in your class with a 90 out of 100, you got a C- in the class.
Mm.
So, I mean, it really proffers a lot of competition among your peers.
That math already confuses me.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I
suck at statistics. In
long story short, only certain amount of people can get A's,
Yeah.
certain amount of people get B's, certain amount of people can get C's, and it's always distributed on a bell curve evenly, so that you get to the 100%.
So you dumped teaching,
Went to law school.
hated being a lawyer.
Well, I actually like being a lawyer, but here's another wrinkle. So after my second year of law school,
You got bored and decided to become a airplane pilot. What?
So
you have a pilot's license?
I don't have a pilot's license. I don't think I'll ever get one. But
I'm just teasing.
I got an email from the he was like the player liaison of the Philippine national team.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the summer of 2011. and I was interested always representing my country. So he reached out and said, "Hey, we're looking for players around the world who might be willing to play in the World Cup qualifiers." So at the time, I was like, "Wow." I mean, 2011. How young was I? 25. 25. And I said, "Are you saying I have an opportunity to play football for my country?" I was like, "Heck yeah, I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
So that second semester of my second year of law school at Alabama, you can only miss 6 classes per subject.
Wait, you said Alabama.
So I transferred from Michigan State to
Okay.
Alabama because rankings matter. Ranked Alabama at the time was 21st in the country, and Michigan State I think was top 100. I forgot what their rank was, but
So
the better school,
move
better
the
job
ranking.
opportunities.
Right.
They're like, well, can you be in the Philippines to play against Mongolia on February 4? That's basically how the conversation
Wow.
happened. And I think this happened around December. And I was like, yeah, I'll make it work. So,
What do you tell your law professors at this point?
so at this time, I looked at the syllabus and I said, okay, well, how many ever credit hours the class is, you can multiply by 2 and miss that many classes. So if like the credit was, if it was three, if it was, yes, I know. If it was 3 hours, then I could miss 6 classes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then so somehow I made it work. Like, this is not a lie. Like, so I left
Are you getting your classmates to like send you?
pretty much. Like, I'm trying to be in the loop. So I fly to the Philippines and I get to play in my very first game, and I got subbed in like the 70th minute. It was Philippines versus Mongolia. I don't remember the exact date. I think it was February 2011. That's all I know. And I had an assist that game. And then so I played the game and I flew straight back to Tuscaloosa.
Oh my god.
Okay. And then this was March, I think. Was this? No, this was February. And then they said, "Hey, can you come back
Oh my
and
gosh.
play in March in Mongolia?" And I said, "Let me look at my schedule and let me see if I can fit it." And then so,
But okay, so you're looking at your schedule. You're also going to class. How are you training for these matches?
maybe this is why I'm well prepared for Ironman training now when I'm working 60 plus hours a week.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe I've been just doing it for long periods of time. But yeah, so I was going to class. I was training. I was, keeping up my fitness. And then I, flew back across the world. I landed in Japan, and I still remember this. And then they were like, an earthquake just hit off the coast of Fukushima. And I was like, I don't know what this means. And they're like, you can't leave the plane. And then so
Wait, what year is this?
2011, there's two natural disasters.
Is this the tsunami?
The tsunami.
Oh my gosh.
I landed in Narita Airport that day when this happened.
Wow.
Yeah. So I landed, and they told us you must stay on the plane. And there was an earthquake that happened off the coast of northeast Japan, and we were in Tokyo, and they said we may feel the shock waves. And I just remember the tarmac going like this. I remember the windows of the airport shaking and then shattering. And then we were on the plane for 8 hours, and they finally let us deplane. And then when we got in, they had closed the airport. All travel had been closed. And they said, all right, airport's going to be closed for 24 hours. I didn't have a phone. I mean, this was 2011.
11, yeah. I mean,
so iPhone I think just was out for 4 years, and I still had like a flip phone, maybe like a Sidekick Razor.
International travel with smartphones at that point was horrendous still. So wow.
I was there, and then they opened it up, and then my teammates were already in Japan, so they met us, and then we flew to Mongolia. And I was all hyped up. I was like, oh, this is my second international game. I'm getting to wear the colors of the Philippines, and I gave up a penalty kick. And then I remember the newspaper just absolutely grilling me, and it was at that time I first felt the mob mentality of like you were on a high because you had an assist, but now you gave up a PK, which possibly destroyed the Philippines World Cup dreams.
Right.
So I got to feel that.
Now, So that's in the newspaper.
Yeah, this newspaper. I'm
Is
like,
is
Twitter at the time, so Instagram wasn't a thing. So I was getting like these things like, "Oh, you're terrible, you suck,"
yeah.
like you're
But
you're
the
you're no
newspaper,
good.
what newspaper was it? Is it
Philippines. So
so?
like whatever our national, like New York Times would be the equivalent.
Yeah.
So like the Philippine Inquirer, things like that.
So, your what language is?
It was in English.
It was in
It was in
okay. I
English.
didn't know
Yeah,
if like
very westernized.
how
Yeah,
many
it's English.
languages do you speak, Jason?
I would say one and like three quarters.
Okay.
Because my
Okay. Pretty soon she's like, oh well, I speak 7 languages, Brandon.
I wish.
I play 7 musical instruments too.
I have no musical inclination. But yeah, so that happened, and then I, flew back to the U.S. and, like I was down, depressed. Not really depressed, but I was like, man, like this is harsh. This is harsh.
Soccer is a brutal sport when it comes to, I guess that random
It is.
mentality.
It is crazy. And then so I came back, and they're like, hey, we need you for another game.
You're like, ugh.
So I don't know if I could fit this in my schedule. But I did.
How much did you miss in terms of school?
I did everything. So okay, so everything was fine.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna fail my exams because I was gone for so long. And do you remember the Tuscaloosa tornado of April of 2011?
Yes.
I was there.
Oh my gosh.
So I was on these apartments, these midtown apartments, right off 15th Street, and I had a final the next day, and I was like, man, I'm going to fail this final because I've been traveling the world for this entire semester, playing these games, not really studying.
You're kidding me.
And then I remember I had 3 soccer friends there, and they were like, hey, come over, play FIFA. And I was like, you know what? There's no way that I can cram. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to come over. And I just remember saying, oh, like a tornado has been spotted, and, hear all the wind. And then you just hear the silence. And you hear the silence. And the 4 of us jump up, run into the bathroom, and get in the bathtub. 4 dudes. And then you hear just all this chaos. And then after that, it was nothing. But all the lights were off, everything. You go outside, and 15th, absolutely.
Whoa.
So long story short, all of my finals were pass-fail for that semester.
Oh.
So that was the only way I passed.
That is an amazing and ridiculous story all at the same time.
I mean, this is all true. Like, I probably haven't told anybody like this in details. Probably the people that I was associated with at the time have an understanding of this. But in my recent years,
we need to jot this down and then like make a screenplay or a novel out of it, because that's intense, man.
Yeah.
Like you're going from like, crap, I'm in law school. I'm gonna fail all these
I'm
finals.
gonna get the C minus.
Yeah.
I'm no longer gonna have, because at the time when I left Michigan State, that first semester I was 9th in the class, and that's what gave me a lot of job opportunities that summer.
Right, and then you transferred
and
to
then I transferred
the 21st ranked.
So that was clean slate. So I needed good grades to ensure a good job, and I was like,
talk about like you when you're a kid and you got an assignment or something due, and you're, man, I hope it snows today.
Yes.
Dude, that happened.
It did. And then so that summer,
awesome.
I was on this low because I gave up this PK. I, like maybe this is like a one-time thing. I got to play a couple games, 3 games for my national team at that point. And then a club team in the Philippines reached out and was like, hey, do you want to play professionally? And you can play for the national team. Sign a 2-year contract. And I was like, where do I sign up?
That's awesome.
So the next 2 years, starting from that summer, doing the World Cup qualifiers. We didn't qualify for the World Cup.
So you finished law school.
No, I finished 2 years of law school at this time.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't done.
You weren't done. So are you able to take a break?
So I contacted the dean, and then also I had jobs lined up for that summer too.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
and these jobs were the stepping stone of if you were going to be hired full time afterwards. And they were at pretty prestigious law firms because I had high rank at Michigan State. Now I'm going to Alabama. I had a good CV. I talked to the managing partners at both places. I talked to the dean of the law school, and they said, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You're 25 years old. Like, you need to make a decision. You either continue to play. I wasn't making big money. Like, I wasn't making career money, but
Right.
you continue to play. Do you continue to play your dreams of playing professionally, earning money, getting to live that culture, or do you work?
Right. You got to go play.
And I went and played.
Like,
And then I was told by the American Bar Association that you have 6 years for matriculation. So I was like, I can play for 3. I can
okay.
play for 3 years, call it quits.
Because I mean, what you say 25? I
25 at the time.
mean, 28. You're long in the tooth when soccer, right?
Oh yeah.
So
So
wow.
so I left, and I left the U.S., went over, got to live this amazing life, and I thought that I could ride it until end of 2 years, but then Alabama, I get an email from Alabama and said, if you don't come back and enroll this semester, you're gonna lose all your credits. And I was at that time I was playing the best soccer, in my opinion. It was fall of 2012. I was probably playing the best soccer. I was starting for the national team. I was playing well for my club team. I really enjoyed my friends, my lifestyle. That you got to come back. I remember telling the national team coach and like crying in his arms at the time that because I was 26-year old,
Yeah.
and I was devastated. I was like, man, I'm really doing well. I think I could do this for 2 more years. I had to come back and finish.
So what's that kind of on the platform of especially international level here, pro sport? How do you handle things from a psychological? Because that plays a lot in arenas.
I think fear is healthy. I think you have to have fear. Now, what you do with that fear is what I guess defines your athletic progression.
Mm,
You know, do you take that fear and kind of shut her in, avoid it, or do you kind of navigate yourself through that fear? I think if you make a decision that fear of what you're trying to achieve or the fear of the training session of how difficult it is, if you put yourself in that position, you will know how you'll react. But
mm,
if you continue to avoid it, you will never know,
right.
right? And then you kind of essentially stumped your
So it's like just
potential growth track.
don't be afraid to fail. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Some people are going to write a bad report on you and some
And bash you and yeah,
in
and
the
tell you
news,
like
right?
like hate you should never play or like
Did, does does a pro team have resources for
mental health.
mental health
I mean,
at that time
at
for
that
you?
time, none. You
Yeah.
know, um, definitely. And then what vices, whether it's drinking or whether it's partying, I definitely did those things to kind of remove myself from the stigma that was created about
Yeah.
playing. And it was 2012, March of 2012, when we played a tournament in Nepal. Like I cut out alcohol, I cut out late nights, all of these things, and I really focused on playing. And I had this like breakthrough tournament. It was the Challenge Cup in Nepal in 2012, and it was for the national team. We did really well. I felt good about the type of person I wanted to be, and then come back and finish school.
That's a hard transition.
Was so I mean so all of 2013 I was Alabama, and I was with the class below me, right? Because I'd basically skipped a year, made good friends, had an opportunity to work for the firm that I used to work for. I also clerked out, or not a like a law clerk post law school, but as a almost like a as a external clerkship for a federal district court judge out in Las Vegas.
Oh, cool.
So I worked there for 6 weeks as well.
So don't tell me, like, you ever see that show Suits?
Suits. So
Yeah.
Suits was like this was the height of Suits time.
Yeah, is Suits kind of is this? Are you Suits? Are you?
I wish I had his memory. I don't have his memory. So yeah, then I took the bar right after, and so I was licensed to practice 2014. I was working, did not like what I was doing. I was drinking a lot of scotch. I just wasn't a good person, like, because I think my heart was still in Asia, on like my legs, everything was still in Asia. Then I got another opportunity to play.
Okay.
So I got another email. This time it was from a club coach. His name was Ali Go, and he said, "Hey, we're looking for defenders. We have an international tournament coming up. Do you want to play?"
All right.
And I
you said, "Heck yeah!"
And at that time, no lie, I was 192 pounds.
So that's big for you, right?
I'm at 164 right now.
Okay.
And this was late 2014. I'm at 160. And I said, yes, I'm coming. And then so I for 2 months, I trained my butt off, and I dropped to like 170.
Wow.
So I dropped like 25 pounds, 22 pounds, and I got over there, and I still remember that the owner of the club was like, still out of shape.
Yeah.
Swear to God. Like, so for this next year, it was like, Jason needs to be in shape.
Conditioning.
He eats too much. He needs to be fitter.
Yeah.
And so again, I trained my best, cut down all of the noise, and I was doing really well. We were in Singapore. We had a tournament. I was playing in the game, and I remember the ball was going out. I was trying to shield the ball, and one of their left wingers knocked me into those screens on the side of the soccer that have the ads.
Yeah. Well,
I hit that, and I ended up getting stitches right here. I think it was like 7 stitches, 11 stitches. That was going to be my last game, and that was in December of 20 or somewhere winter of 26.
Okay.
Because when we flew back to the Philippines, they cut me from.
How'd that feel?
Brutal.
Yeah.
Again, because like I thought that I was, but at the time I was 30 years old now.
Yeah.
And they wanted to take a different direction, hire younger players. And I was like, well, I thought I was in a good place. I could have joined another club for less money, but I think I was like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
Time to hang up the boots and enjoy the sport as a spectator, and then eventually with my son, how to play. But I was not going to play.
Gotcha.
And that's where the triathlon.
Yeah, so you know what? That's a great transition. Let's throw this up.
Sorry, that was a lot to unpack.
Dude, no, it's really fun to hear a timeline of certain things, especially when you relate them to some natural disasters. And that's a funny story of
almost like serendipitous. It's crazy. I mean, that was a realized
avoiding a law final by way of
5 law finals
by way of tornado. Like, that doesn't happen anywhere except for Huntsville or
Tuscaloosa,
Alabama. So, all right, pretty much anywhere in Alabama. All right, so we're gonna go to this first. Not that picture. We're gonna go to this one right here. So, tell us about this bad girl.
So, I'm actually wearing this shirt. So, I moved back to the U.S. and I'm picking up odd end jobs, doing some like doc review stuff in Nashville, and I'm like, man, I don't really have purpose in my fitness journey. I'm gonna sign up for an Ironman. So
just willy nilly, just gonna hop on the board and do a triathlon.
Yeah, so I've done Rocket Man when I was younger. I think like the last Rocket Man was maybe like 2002, and so I was like, I have 9 months. can do a bunch of random things. Let me see if I can do Ironman Chattanooga in September.
All right. So how much training did you have for that?
I think I had about 6 healthy months.
Okay.
But I hadn't swam in a really long time. I grew up swimming, but I didn't swam. I don't, at the time I didn't have a bike, um, and there was no way I've ever ran a marathon. So, but I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Awesome.
And then I crossed. I think it was like 10:43.
Wow.
September 2017. And then just like all things that happen in my life, I get addicted to something, or I set a goal, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
It's hard not to get addicted to multi-sport event.
Yeah,
Especially at that Ironman level where everything's just like it's a party, in my opinion. I mean,
it keeps me out of trouble.
yeah.
I would be in a lot of trouble if I didn't do Ironman training. I think I would need my energy somehow consumed or
So,
exhausted.
and you, man, so just following you on the Instagrams and the socials and all that, you'll post a lot of your training and stuff like that. Man, you're waking up at the crack of dawn. Well, before the crack of dawn, you're just like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and you're on the bike
Yeah,
or
so
doing a run or swimming or you're.
no pools are open at that time.
Oh, that's
So
true.
this is, well, this is another wrinkle in my life. So residency obviously is a little
Right.
different. I only typically get 1 day off a week. Um, and so some I've worked 24 straight days before, in my first year as well. So finding time is an art for sure.
Yeah.
And then if I have a long ride or a long brick and it's on my day off, I love my family. So I really hate spending time away from.
Yeah.
So if that means
Which a lot of times when I'm chatting with any of my clients that are coming in here, start chatting about things, training for that event, there's a full half or whatever. I find out they have kids. I'm like, all right, so you got a trainer? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, in order for you to perform well, you got to spend a lot of time. You need to be training where up early, or late at night, because your family's gonna. That's a hard way to be an athlete away from family and lots of training.
oh, absolutely. I mean, you've done an Ironman, so like 7, 8 weeks from the event, you've got huge brick sessions.
Oh yeah,
So,
and you're also not like in a joyful mood.
oh,
You're just like you wake up and like, what are you doing? Training.
and back to the music. So like when I
Yeah.
wake up, I literally put the music in,
And
and it wakes me up.
you got a genre you like?
It's all techno.
All te-
All techno.
well, and that's good because sometimes you can also find the techno that has the certain beats.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
So
But yeah, I mean, so if I have 1 day off, and my son will wake up at 7:30 a.m. on his day off, because we wake him up at 6:15 on those days. Um, I have to start at 3:30 a.m. and I'm already infringing on his time, because if I have 7 hours of a bike run and I start at 3:30, I end at 10:30. So I've like lost 3 hours with my son,
mm,
and I feel bad about that. But there's no way I could wake up at midnight.
right.
Like I need to
You
sleep.
gotta sleep. I have pulled up this little cute picture of your family.
So yeah, that was at Rosemary Beach. We're actually going to Rosemary here, in 2 weeks. That was the first time my son had seen the ocean, and he loves it. I
Yeah.
mean, I love my wife. I love my son. I love them more than I love sports. If it wasn't for them, and especially like my wife understanding, and doing a lot of the things around the house, I probably couldn't train for an Ironman.
Yeah. Family's the biggest, I think, reason why people can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have like that Sherpa at home, kind of doing all the things that you don't have really the time to do, it's harder.
100%.
So,
I mean, if my wife has to remind me to brush my teeth.
Well, you said self-confessed memory like a goldfish, so
She
that
will literally, I will hop in bed and she's like, "You haven't brushed your teeth," and I will drag my feet,
uh,
but she'll force me. No, I again, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably couldn't do half the things I do. But back to that first picture you did. So 2017 did Ironman Chattanooga. I was like, okay, I really want to qualify for Kona. What does this mean? And so I trained my butt off, and I think my next Ironman was
now when you say I want to qualify for Kona, I'm imagining you've done the research to see how hard it is to qualify for Kona.
no, not at that point.
Not at that point.
No,
You just like willy nilly, I'm going to qualify for Kona and not seeing like the competitiveness at your age. Because this is
I was 30, yeah, 30 to
30.
34.
That's like one of the hardest age groups.
Yeah, I know. I was, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, I could do this. This is something that is achievable. So I was like, I trained, I learned how to run, um, and then I think the next one was Texas. I think the next one was Texas. The following year, and I went 9:13 at Texas,
Gosh.
but it wasn't fast enough to qualify. And I think it's because everyone was so fast.
Well, you're on that bell-shaped curve, right?
Yeah.
So that's even if you score, a certain
Exactly.
level, you still got a C minus.
Exactly.
You see what I did there?
That was
I am paying attention.
that was okay. C minus, sure. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's true. Like it was my fastest Ironman, but I was nowhere near qualifying. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do.
The trick is to find the races where there's not that people participating, and then
That was.
yeah, that's what you got to do.
I think I did Lake Placid or Louisville or some Louisville. Louisville. I think Louisville was next. I did
Because Texas, it was Houston, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that draws a lot of people.
Oh yeah, and they're
So,
fast, and
yeah.
so I think Louisville was next or somewhere DNF there because I didn't respect the weather, didn't respect Mother Nature. Had a little bit of hypothermia on the bike. Then I did Lake Placid, and I was 6 minutes away from a Kona spot. And then I think Chattanooga after.
Then you made it in Chattanooga.
I made it in Chattanooga. So that race was 2019, so it was 2 years after. I finished 29th overall. So that included the pros as well as the amateurs. And I finished third in my age. But at that time, it was so hot on the run that everybody went slower. And I'm pretty sure that is the only reason why I qualified, because people blew up on that run.
Do you perform pretty well in the heat?
I don't know if I perform well in the heat because my marathon time that day wasn't great. I think I averaged like 8:20s. But I think it's just because I slowed down in the beginning of the marathon when projected at that time I was projecting like 7:15, 7:10 off the bike, and I was like, no, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna start at 8:40s, see how it goes. And luckily, the plan or I executed it well. I think I crossed at like 10:04, something like that. And this was the old course, so it was still 116 miles. Everything went to plan.
So fast forward to today.
And
now you in what 6 days, 4 days?
6 days.
6 days.
6 days or 5 days now, since it's almost
the
end of the day. We'll try again.
Yeah, Chattanooga.
We'll try new course. New course to me. I think it's been the new bike course for maybe a couple of years now. It's loops. Swim is always going to be fast. It's raining this week, so it'll be really fast. I hope they don't cancel it.
And unless I don't think so. Unless the weather's like just downpour. I don't think it's been.
And then the run. The run's going to be the hardest because I've been in ICU for the past month, and maybe just because I'm just tired, but I haven't really had any quality runs. I mean, I think the most I did was a broken 17-miler on a Sunday. That's
where you gotta turn that psychological advantage. Is like you're gonna have fresh legs. That's what it's gonna be.
I feel fresh now.
Yeah.
I mean, I only did like 13 and a half hours last week, and I feel fresh.
So maybe.
And I wasn't sleeping. I was only sleeping like 5 hours a day.
Gosh.
So.
Any secret weapons you have for
Brandon Welch is my secret weapon. He has turned my bike into this crazy like speed rocket. So
Nah, we're just playing with Legos. That's all we're doing.
yeah, I mean, I feel you did my bike fit, uh, and the bike fit is fantastic. Um, now we're doing a few changes. We're adding a disc wheel, a couple other things, adding a wax chain. So I feel really good on the bike. I just don't know what this run's gonna be. I mean, the projected temperature is 80s, so most of the guys in my age group, I know they're gonna be running 715s, 720s off the bike. Faster than that, probably. I just don't know if I have that in the tank.
Have you thought about running with marbles?
Marbles.
As you pass your competitors, you just like
Well, I don't
the
know.
Looney Tunes toss the marbles on the ground.
Maybe if they've lapped me, then I can throw the marbles.
You know, that'd be fun if like this is a complete aside, but it'd be fun to do like a Mario Kart style try where you can throw turtle shells at people,
Well,
and then they get like not real turtle shells, like little fake ones, and then they get like time penalties
Oh wow,
when you hit them.
that would be interesting. I mean, now they have those enhancement games where
Right.
now they like can you break this world record with how much doping you can do?
Yeah, that's
They have it in swimming, and I saw Fred Curley. He's the U.S. sprinter. He's like the first one to sign over. It's gonna be interesting.
yeah. Do you think we should be doing that from a medical perspective? Do you think that's something we should toy with? Because in the professional world, I mean, they're still trying to do that anyway. Should we just go ahead and legitimize it and say, "Hey, let's just turn this up a notch, and here's what you can do: play in this arena, do all the drugs, do all the PEDs you want."
I mean, I don't know if I can condone that, just because, I mean, obviously, maybe in the acute phase, there might not be long-lasting effects, but you're taking testosterone, exogenous testosterone, or you're taking, exogenous EPO. You're doing things to your biochemistry, the metabolic processes in your body, and if you alter those things, it puts you at risks
Yeah,
for life-threatening diseases, essentially. I mean, like, let's say you essentially put yourself in a hypercoagulable state, your risk of developing clot in your lungs, well, clot in your legs, clot in your lungs goes higher, stroke. Like, I mean, these are things that are long lasting
right.
for something so short.
Short-lived.
I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze.
Well, so you're, a doctor. How has your training changed with more knowledge of physical aspect of the body?
So sports science is something that I've always been interested in, and by no means am I an expert in the field.
Yet, I mean, come on, just give it a 2 or 3 years, and then you're going to be like Dr. Sabio, sports scientist extraordinaire.
So, but I love hearing other people's takes. I love people who interpret research and literature and all of these, random controlled trials, which is the standard when it comes to research of people doing these things and trying to implement it into my own kind of regimen. Science works in sport, in my opinion. Now, the extra oomph, like what we call puso in Tagalog, the heart, or if you have, the brain to kind of shut down, or shut down all of the negativity or all of the noise. Those things, like, I mean, really difficult for science to explain.
Yeah.
But when it comes to how much glucose you can utilize in an hour, right? How periodized training works, like why we have to build our aerobic capacity but also train our anaerobic threshold. I mean, that's proven science.
Yeah.
But then, but you can't teach someone to have the heart of a lion.
Yeah. What's the
puso?
Puso?
Puso, yeah.
That's
it's
awesome.
Like, is his heart. So and it's like the fight. Like, what fight do you have? And I don't think any science can explain that.
Right.
Or so I mean, we've all been in the trenches,
Yeah.
and it's not like we like turn on a switch and any of our like metabolic processes or our muscles be like, hey, come on, glycogen, come on out.
Time to go.
It's time to go, right? Lactic acid is building. No, it's your heart. It's like, can I give? Really interesting.
Well, so in all of this, one of the coolest things that you keep mentioning is family, how they're important to you. So here's a cute little video of your son here and you playing a little indoor golf.
So I don't think he was even 2 at the time.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm going to be that parent where I want to live off my son's income as a career athlete. So
Okay.
you have to start him young.
Yeah. Do
You
you,
know?
do you have a desire for him to play a particular sport, or are you pushing for golf?
I'm pushing for whatever he can make millions.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No. So what I want to do with my son is I want him to have the opportunity to do whatever he wants. I want him to explore. Now, when it comes to sports specificity, I think there is more value in allowing in a child's development, more value in allowing a child to experience so many different things rather than be sports specific so that he becomes a better athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're young, you can focus on what you can control, and that's your athleticism.
Yeah.
Because then when you become older and you start going into organized sports, if you decided to be in team-based sports, there's so many things you can't control.
Right.
You can always control your own development. And I maybe because from my own experience, I feel like a lot of lessons that I've learned being a physician in a team-based environment, working with ancillary staff, nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, respiratory therapists, other physicians, is that the better that you work with others, the better it is for everyone.
Yeah.
Whether that is patient care, workplace environment. So I hope my son goes through that where he enjoys sport not only because he wants to be the best, but he wants to go with others. But in the meantime, we're going to let him work on his hand-eye coordination, working on his foot-eye coordination. He won't learn any musical instruments from me or Jordan because we don't have that prowess. But
he could get into techno, and
he could.
then hand-eye coordination with techno. It's all about hitting.
You'll have to learn that from my brother, not me. So.
Well, so I want to compliment you on one thing that I've always observed about you, and put all the accolades of the physical aside, and you're always positive. I've never worked with you and been around you, whether it's at a training session. Like I've popped into, like, it's hard for me to get up crack of dawn. I've done one running session with you, but you bring positivity to everything that you're doing. When you've been training people, like you're nailing down like what they should be doing, but you're like, yeah, you guys can do this. Hit it hard. And then when you come into the store or want to see you somewhere else, you always have a smile on your face. You're always joyful. So, like, where do you get that from?
I think, I mean, I'm not like a surreal optimist, right? I don't think that you can cure everything with smiles and happiness and unicorns and dreams. But I do believe that the way that you present yourself is contagious. So I'm not saying like I'm dying inside, but the way you interact with other people, and if you're very cordial and you're happy, it just makes it a better interaction. And I feel that this is how our lives work. It's like what's one interaction, then another interaction, then another interaction. So if we spend time trying to bring down interaction for the other person, it's a detriment to both of us.
Yeah.
Obviously there's things that I don't like or I can't control. But if I take the brain cells, which the limited that I have, and focusing on the negativity, then I'm doing myself a disservice, or I'm doing whatever I'm working on or interacting with a disservice. So it's not it's not blindful optimism and I'm happy, but if that's my default, I think it's much better than if I'm have this negative outlook on the world.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great way to look at it too. Is you know, if the default is negative, that's what you're going to produce. So that if the default is, hey, what positive things can I draw from this?
Mm-hmm.
Then that just somehow qualifies the situation or can come from it. I appreciate you every time you're like, it's like, even if you're down, you say something that's like, well, here's the good part of it,
Yeah.
and it makes you like just pause and think like, yeah, it's not all that bad. Here's good stuff.
I will say, being in the ICU, some of these conversations where I mean, it is hard to find that positive aspect, especially if the prognosis is very poor. Um, but I think there's a need for straight shooting and not sugarcoating anything in that situation. But at no point in time should I be overtly negative, whether it's to family, to the patient, nurses. I don't need to be detrimental.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to improve their life or be a benefit to them, then I don't need to be interacting with, because that, again, it's my disservice to the society, to community, by showering negativity.
It's Thumper's mom's advice, right? Don't have anything nice to say. Don't
Don't
say
say it at all.
Man, we've been chatting for a little bit, and you don't have much time to be chatting because you need some sleep. You got to play with the kid. I'm sure you've got some 5 a.m. training sesh tapering in the morning.
It's taper week, so everything is good. Like,
you looking forward to some donuts on Saturday?
So that's one thing I've definitely been looking at that, again, was different 6 years ago, was carbo loading race week. New studies now are showing that there is no benefit more than 48 to 72 hours from your race.
Yeah.
Right? So you actually need to eat normal, but focus on your hydration. And then 72 hours before, eat all the donuts you want, which I'm going to do. Well, my vice is Hawaiian sweet rolls. So Jordan's bought me, I think, like 72 Hawaiian sweet rolls.
That's awesome.
Because, I mean, I'm around 70, or I'm like 73 kilos, 74 kilos. So I need 730 grams of carbs.
That's awesome.
But I'm definitely going to eat all 730
You've already done the math.
I've already done the math. But I mean, it's necessary. If you want to perform, you need the carbs.
Yeah, you got to eat.
I mean, I'm no Christian Blumenfeld, and I've been researching this too, but he's taking 300 grams an hour on the bike of fuel.
Yeah.
That's insane. Because, 6 years ago, they were saying that there was no way that anybody could utilize more than 90 grams of carbs per hour.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So, I mean, he's taking in 1,200 calories an hour on the bike.
Wait, I thought he was doing 300 an hour.
Yeah, 300 grams.
Oh, 300 grams. Okay.
Yeah, so that's 1,200 calories.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which is unheard of. And there are RCTs showing that there's no benefit of glucose utilization greater than 200 an hour, but Christian Blumenfeld is also not human,
so he might be processing a little.
Yeah, I mean, the Norwegians, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they found like some sort of Dragon Ball Z hyperbaric chamber where they're going in and doing all this time.
I don't know how somebody can consume that, because I was doing about 300 calories.
75, and that's normal. So I mean, 6 years ago, that's what the people were saying was optimal, 75 grams an hour.
And even then, I was just like, God, I got to eat again.
Yeah.
I would always joke, like, doing an Ironman, especially when you're on the bike, it's just an eating competition.
It is an eating competition.
Like that's all it is. And it's just like, what are you doing on the bike? Well,
Yeah.
my alarm went off. I got to eat, double something, and like I don't eat that much
Hmm.
on the bike.
But that's
So
what makes them so superhuman is that they're able to consume that much without distress. And are they using all 300 grams? Who knows? But they're able to take it in that many. So they're optimizing their environment.
yeah, they also have got to have planned that out big time because how what is that doing to your digestive?
Correct.
What's coming out the other? Something.
So they've dialed in. So I've trained. So I'm gonna consume 120 grams an hour, so 480 calories an hour on the bike.
Emma's rookie numbers. You got to pump them numbers up. No, I'm just kidding.
They're pretty rookie, but
that's
we'll
a
see.
lot. So.
It is. I mean, it's definitely more because I was shooting for around 80. So when I did Chattanooga, well, when I did Kona in 22, I think I was shooting for around like 80 to 85 grams an hour. So I'm going up 50% essentially, and so we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna take a couple days off after this, but we'll see.
Well, I think you're gonna rock it out, and then cool. It's an Iron Man, so there's an Iron Man app, so we can. Do you have your bib number yet?
I don't think the bib numbers are out.
Okay.
But if you start seeing paces like 13 minutes per mile, I'm probably struggling somewhere on course.
Well, I'm with this podcast. I'm gonna post it as quickly as I can, so maybe we can have a whole Huntsville crew cheering you on, at least virtually.
There's a lot. There's a lot of first timers. Some of the soccer guys that I've grown up or I have known through different channels. There's a few going up there. It's going to be a good race. I have a special place in my heart for Chattanooga. Obviously, this will be the
beautiful town. It's a beautiful race venue.
Yeah, so it'll be the third time I've done it. I proposed to Jordan on the footbridge.
Awesome.
So
yeah,
maybe not for her. She broke her pelvis in Chattanooga.
Yeah, how's her recovery?
She's the strongest one in the household. 100%. She makes me look weak. Is what it is. Wow. Because I don't have 2 screws in my sacrum. She's intermittently getting on the bike, but she's doing this high rocks. Craze.
Okay.
And it's basically if triathlon and CrossFit had a baby.
Oh wow, that does not sound too fun.
So yeah,
1, triathlon, but 2, CrossFit. That's like a whole nother. On one of my podcasts, the guys next door are CrossFitters. I had him in here and chatted about him, and
yeah,
CrossFit is.
It's a lot.
It's a lot,
and it's in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
So, CrossFit, most of the workouts are like 30-minute workouts, right. 35-minute workouts. High Rocks is around the hour mark for the pros. It's actually a little bit less. And then for most like amateurs, it's going to be between that 60-minute and like 100-minute mark.
Okay.
So it's like right at the capacity of anaerobic metabolism. Right. So like you have to fuel, but it's not so much where you can still be high intensity. So I would equate it to doing a long sprint triathlon where your heart rate's zone 4, zone 5 the entire time.
Right.
But this time, so you do 8 1-kilometer runs, but after each kilometer run, there's some sort of functional movement, whether it's row, ski erg, wall balls, burpee broad jump, farmer's carry.
And she's like a willing participant in this, or is this something like?
That's why she's the strongest in the household because
was it her idea?
It's her idea.
Oh my gosh, Jordan, what's going on
and
here?
And she wanted me to do it with her, and I was like,
I'm gonna do the easy thing. Let me do
the easy thing. Where I can just I can eat on a bike for 5 hours.
That's hilarious.
So no, we'll see. I mean, I think her race is November 2nd. It's in Atlanta. So she's preparing for that.
And she broke her hip how long ago?
May 18th.
Wow. So
so in 4 months.
Yeah, she's back at it. That's awesome. Yeah,
she's doing like 90-minute runs, and like I'm like, how do you? If I had 2 rods, I would be down for years.
Right.
I'd probably be on chronic pain medication and sitting and watching TV with a beer on my belly.
Sounds like she's like the tiger mom in the family.
She definitely is. I'm very thankful for her, and because I remember seeing her in the ED in Chattanooga, because I was tracking her, and I got this call, and I just had this weird feeling, and I said, I think she crashed, and I saw her, and she's got lacerations, right above her left brow, and she's in a C collar, and so you're scared,
Yeah.
and luckily they scanned her head, there was not there, but obviously she pelvis, and she's got 2 screws and bionic woman now.
Well, sounds like not only her but your son are was it the Uso?
Uso,
Uso.
the heart. Yeah. So we call ourselves Ohana. So it's like family.
Yeah, family. Yeah.
And I mean, I'd do anything for them. I mean, it would be a tough conversation if Jordan said you have to quit triathlon.
Yeah.
Because it takes too much time. I would say maybe I could tone it down a little bit. And
focus on the sprints.
And do halves.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time, Jordan. Thank you for letting me borrow your husband for, gosh, I don't know how long this has been, hour and a half or so. So I appreciate the conversation, and got some amazing stories. And
one day we'll write a book.
Heck yeah, man! You've got some fun. Like we need to make a movie out of this.
There's some pockets that slowly my memory gets jogged a little bit, that I still remember, and I'm like, oh, I did that. I can't believe it. So, but that's just a whole nother can of worms.
All right, we gotta figure out who's gonna play Jason Sabio on the silver screen here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Jason, any final last thoughts or words you'd like to share or impart with the viewing, listening audience?
Yeah, just keep moving. Even as a medical doctor, I wholeheartedly believe that movement is the best medicine. There's so much in life that we need to enjoy, and movement's the gateway, because we don't appreciate, most of us, even myself, we don't appreciate like how nice it is to move, and that when we are beginning to age in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, we need to reap the benefits of all that movement in our younger years so that we can enjoy time with our grandkids, and we don't have difficulty walking upstairs or doing groceries or even getting up from a chair. So I think the more that we move and the more that we enjoy the things that we do, the better that not only the longer our lives are, but what you're actually putting into your life. I think as long as we have that, and we continue just to be positive influences on each other, the world will go round.
Love it, man. I appreciate you, Jason.
Thanks,
you make me realize there's so many more things in life I still have yet to achieve, and I should do it. So
you're a young spring chicken.
I so am not, but I appreciate the sentiment. Man, good luck to you on Saturday. I'll be cheering for you. I'll follow you along on the app. And
well, for Saturday I'll probably be resting. It'll be on Sunday. So
that's right.
Same.
Sunday.
Thanks.
Hey, yeah, thanks. We're gonna hit this outgoing logo. We'll chat with about things.
I haven't talked about a lot of those things.